Hello and welcome back to another episode of Feel Out America. I'm gonna probably have to record that on something. I love that sound. I love doing it. So we are here today with another amazing author and one of my favorite books. I am so excited to introduce to you guys Miss Janae Anderson. Hello, Miss Janae Anderson.
Hello, how are you?
I am doing well, and I hope everybody else is doing well. We are so excited to have you.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Oh my gosh. So we've read your book on the live before, but we have not had you here to kind of talk about why you wrote the book, what you've done with the book, what's going on with this book, what are you doing next, all of those things from I Love My Curls. This book is absolutely amazing, in which case you'll see it soon. But I want to talk a little bit about you.
Okay.
So from what you've sent me, you are a speaker. Mm-hmm. You're a best-selling author. You're a mom coach.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. You are a natural hair coach and a self-esteem advocate for children. And you live in Pennsylvania.
Yes, I do. Philly.
Oh.
The land of the cheesesteak.
Reppin' Philly. I don't think I can say it right because I'm not from there.
Yeah.
But reppin' Philly, I probably sound. And from what I've been kind of reading, you said you had battled bullying and negative talk because of your hair.
Yes.
And so that's why you made the decision to write this book, which is one of the first questions I wanted to ask you. Tell us a little bit more about why you decided to write this book.
Yeah, I decided to write this book. It's very layered. I would say the main reason I was inspired by my own personal experience, growing up, in a small town in Michigan where there was very few, Black girls and brown girls. And our hair, of course, is different. My mom was very old school. She did not believe in letting us grow up too quick. So we had the ponytails, the cornrows, all the little Black girl hairstyles.
Yes.
Age appropriate. She wasn't about that life, getting the hair, fried, dyed, and laid to the side really early on. So fast forward, we moved to Philadelphia now, in the city is very different from the country.
Absolutely.
The city, they do it, whatever's in fashion, and the natural hair thing at that time in the late 80s just wasn't it. Everybody was getting their hair, relaxed. And then my mom eventually did relax it, but still we were getting cornrows and things like that. So got a lot of taunting for it. And now being a mother and having two daughters, to see them at certain parts of their lives going through the same thing decades later. Really? And talking to other parents, this is still a thing. And it's very misleading when you look at media, you see representation, but people are still being ostracized and bullied for their appearance and the way that they were born, their natural appearance, and they get these complexes where they feel they have to alter themselves or they want to look like what they see on Instagram, So I thought it was very important to be a voice, not only for the weirdos like me, but to also give parents a tool where they could sort of bridge this this gap of complexity of understanding and have this discussion of why this is happening, because a lot of kids just want to be accepted by their peers. They don't understand that having a positive self-identity gives you confidence, and it really will affect you all through life. So if you're constantly changing and trying to fit into, you're the circle trying to fit into a square, you're always going to be struggling with self-esteem, and I needed to be a voice for the voiceless. And I thought it was so important to tell my story, but I'm telling it from a Black woman's perspective, but I think anybody can relate. If you've ever been, bullied for just being different, anybody, the moral of the story. So to show pride and to feel good about yourself, that is what I wanted to come across. And then also there's a learning guide, because Black hair, curly hair, period, is so misunderstood. And
Yes.
I wanted people to have something where they know how to take care of it, because we have multicultural families, and it's a struggle sometimes even to care for the hair and have it look its best. So, it's just a wonderful book that can do a lot for the family as a whole, their self-esteem and how to come back to basics and appreciate curly hair.
Absolutely. And that's an amazing story. I remember being bullied for being different, wearing glasses. And then if I didn't wear glasses, my eyes were big. So I was called fish because my eyes were so big. And so I remember being the one that was always different. I didn't like everything everybody else liked. I was different. My mom taught me different ways and different things. So we didn't do everything the same. We didn't have everything that everybody else had.
Right.
I remember there was a girl that was in my class. She had the ends of her hair was always a different color. Every week she had the ends of her hair a different color. And everybody loved it. She was so popular and all this other stuff. We couldn't afford that. So my hair was just what my hair was at any given moment. And so I remember going through that in school, which is why, again, probably why I love this book so much, because it's so encouraging. It's so beautiful and validating to let little girls know that your hair is different, or even little boys who have long, curly, rich hair. Your hair is different, and that's totally fine. It's beautiful just the way it is.
Exactly. I
I
agree.
love it. This is one of my favorite books. You gave us a couple of them. I kept one because
Oh, please do. Please do.
because when I have my little girl, I already know, like, whenever that day comes, I'm pulling out this book. I'm like, look, let me go ahead and tell Auntie Janae.
Exactly. And you know what? And that's the thing. I think and that was another thing that inspired me. I think that when we catch them young, because my book is more of a picture book,
Mhm.
but I think that's where we need to sort of get that idea to love yourself. And it
Yes.
starts young. I do feel as a mom, when you start trying to do that, when they hit like middle school and high school, it's too late. They want to do what the world is telling them to do and look like. So if we can, instill and affirm, that you are beautiful at such a young age, and they get that and they're proud of that. I think that, I'm not saying that it won't be a struggle, but I think it would be less of a struggle, maybe
Yeah.
how we felt and what we experienced growing up. So that was one of the big things in my mind. I said, which audience do I really want to aim this at? I said, you know
Yeah.
what, those babies. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, so studies do say 0 to 5 is where they soak up the most information. So if whatever you want them to learn, whatever you want them to know, that first 5, 6 years is where you need to pack it in, because they are sponges that can
Yeah.
hold so much. And then from that on is where their love maps are shifted, and they figure out who they are, and they're starting to learn all these little parts and pieces of themselves. And so this is where that that beginning stage and the beginning ages, that's where you want to show them, okay, you are beautiful just the way you are. You don't have to look like everybody else. You have your own style. You can be an individual. And so,
Yes.
yeah, I totally, with all of my heart, support everything that you're doing with this book. I love it. So, without further ado, I'm going to let you read your book because I
Okay.
think everyone needs to hear this. This is amazing.
All right. Hi, friends. I'm Janae Anderson, author of I Love My Curls, and here we go. I love my curls. Rocking my curls. I have a lot of affirmations in here, so this is the affirmation. Rocking my curls. Here's a pledge. I pledge allegiance to my curls, though they may be different from other girls. They twist, they move, or hold in place. My curls look great above my face. My mind and heart will change the world. I'm proud to say I love my curls. My hair, oh, my curly hair. I love how it grows up and down and left to right. Oh, what a beautiful curly sight. My curls twist round and round in loopy loop, twisty turny as I go about. I love my curls the most when they are wild and free, blowing in the wind like the leaves of a sycamore tree. There are so many ways I can wear my hair. I can wear it up in one Afro puff or two, one of my favorite hairstyles. I can style my hair with bantu knots through and through, in a pretty bun, 2-strand twist, cornrows adorned with beads or barrettes. Wearing my curls in an afro is as good as it gets. I love my curls the most when they are wild and free, blowing in the wind like the leaves of a sycamore tree. And then there's a resource guide that gives wonderful information about how to care for our curls. And then there's a lot more affirmations as we go. Positive affirmations that you can say every day. Say this out loud. My curls are magical. My curls are beautiful, and so am I. My hair makes me feel free to be me. My hair is the most magical hair on the planet. Like me, it can do anything. Curls are my superpower. And what runs the world? Curls. My hair is as stylish and special as I am in the inside. And the end. So I hope, friends, that you know how important it is to have a positive self-identity. That means loving yourself, appreciating everything that is you. Your uniqueness is what makes us special. Wouldn't it be a boring world if we all looked the same? So never be influenced by what the world says you should be. Be who you want to be. And if I wasn't creative, if I wasn't brave enough to be who I am, I would have never written a book. I would be so afraid to do anything. So make sure that you love yourself. And when it comes to your hair, make sure you know that your curls are beautiful and so are you. Thank you.
I love it so much. That is so beautiful. I love it. And I know that these two books that we have today, they have been signed by the author, Miss Janae Anderson, and we're going to give them away to two beautiful, amazing, unique kids. And I'm very excited. And she has a special note in there for you when you get it. I'm not even going to read it. I'm going to let you read it yourself and be surprised when you see it because it's so beautiful. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit more. When did you realize that you wanted to become a writer?
think I always was a storyteller when I was a kid. I remember making up plays and acting them out. Um, I think it's genetics. I think it's just something that's innately in me. My mom's a wonderful writer. My grandmother's a wonderful writer, and we are avid readers in our family. And I just always found writing as a way to express myself. I have like tons of journals still from like being a little kid. So I always just use that as a way to express my imagination and to explain the world around me and what was going on.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. So when you write a book, is there something that you need to start off and surround yourself with? Is there something that you do in order to prepare yourself to write a book?
Absolutely. I'm a people watcher. I love to watch people and just see how people live every day. I mean, it's from the supermarket to, watching TV. If I'm around, my community, I love it. And people give me so many ideas and my head wants to explode. So I'm like constantly writing things down, or I have my phone, I'm writing notes because it gives me inspiration to go by. And then being a mom, my kids crack me up. So I look at their experiences, even my pets, the world is a really interesting place. And I am one that really takes the time out to observe everything. So I'm nosy. And I think being a writer, you kind of have to be nosy, not intruding on people's business, but just watching how people do things. And you can get some really great antidotes from life and put it into the book. So that's definitely where I pull from. I am a big hoodie person and t-shirt person. I have tons of t-shirts that give me a vibe. If you see me with my one favorite t-shirt, I have a t-shirt with all women authors that happen to look like me, and that really like puts me in this writing mood and keeps me creative. Those are usually the things that I do, and I need peace and quiet. Sometimes I'll have to kind of pull back from the world, and you won't
Mhm.
hear from me. And that's why, like, I've been on like this internet sabbatical because I've been embarking on, new business ventures, but I'm also trying to get all these things out because I definitely want to get other books out. And one is a continuation of the I Love My Curls because I hear a lot of people, they want me to do one for the boys. So I had no reference outside of men that I know, so I wanted to be so real and for it to hit in a different way.
Mhm.
So just pulling a lot of inspiration and watching people, and so I can get these projects out. So that's what I do. And just pull. I'm so practical. I just pull from life. you know
That's amazing. I love the hoodie idea though. Like I love that.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
yeah,
But yes, for the boys, that would be great. Oh,
yeah. Just
I'm excited.
think
I'm
about it.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so
definitely.
as a kid, were there any books from your childhood that inspired you or that inspires you still that you even share with your kids? Anything that just
Yeah.
your favorite that just pulls out from you?
Absolutely. I would start from when I was young. Dr. Seuss, of course, because I love the rhymes. I love the pictures. The pictures were sort of abstract and weird, and I love that. That just spoke to me. So when I write for the little ones, I'm always the illustrations have to be bold and bright, because I wanted
Yeah.
to read like a picture book. If there was no words at all, you would still understand what's happening. I get that from Dr. Seuss and also the rhyming because I feel that kids have a short attention span, and I think when you rhyme words, it sticks and it reads much better for them. They love it. Um, Moving ahead, I would say Maya Angelou was a big oh she really spoke to me because I think she was the first author, and Toni Morrison, The Bluest Eyes, was probably where, in hindsight, this idea also was inspired too, if I'm going to be honest, because I just remember Little Piccola in The Bluest Eyes. I don't know if you ever read her, Tony. I think that book was written in like 1970, but it took
Oh,
place
wow.
in like the 1940s. Like we in like 2021, you know, and we're still talking about these issues. But Pecola was in The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. She was like teased for being dark skinned, and she was like, you know, quirky, and so her mannerisms, and she developed this complex, and she wanted to have blue eyes. You know, she just hated herself. She thought that that would make the world love her and find her beautiful. So, you know, it just blows my mind that the realness. And I felt like Judy Blume is another one.
Uh,
Judy Blume, I loved her because I always felt that there was a realness. She was another author, I would say, like pre-adolescent, that
mhm.
I felt, you know, she talked about, you know, puberty. She talked about the child's perspective when you're looking at all this kind of like dysfunction and things going on with the adults around you, and you're trying to figure out yourself. I mean, she keeps it real, and then I love her too because she's a real G. She's not having the censorship thing, because you know a
Oh,
lot of her books, you know, right now are being, you know, banned and censored, and I just hate when people want to stifle creativity. So I
yeah.
would say those were probably um the authors that I really was into, you know, growing up, and have a lot of my writing style or my ideas when I write come from those authors.
That's amazing. That I'm gonna have to write that Toni Morrison down so I can read that one.
Yes,
I haven't
great book.
seen that one.
Yeah, it's
Um,
a great book.
I'm gonna have to read that one. And now being a librarian, I can go
Yeah,
find
please.
things.
It'll make you cry, but it's so relevant to what's still happening, and that's the beauty of books, man. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a book that was written in 1970 but set in 1940, and we're still dealing with this, you know,
Yeah.
identity thing and hair, and it's
It
just a mess.
never stops. It
It
kind of
doesn't.
loosens up a little bit, but it
Yeah,
never
yeah,
stops. It never ends.
right,
It seems like. Mm.
exactly.
So, how many books have you written? So we know about I Love My Curls, which is
Right.
amazing, but I know for a fact, like I just know that that's not the end of that.
No, absolutely not. I have been working on projects. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and then, you know, sometimes life kind of gets in the way when you're doing other
Mhm.
things. So I've been holding on. I have a book that I'm sort of journaling or chronicling, for lack of a better word, my own natural hair journey. It's sort of a spin-off of the resource guide because I get so much feedback. People love it, and they've learned so much about their hair through it. Um, Also, like I mentioned, you know, a lot of people want the boy version of I Love My Curls for their sons. So, and then I have some other things, you know, that I've been working on. That would sort of just be actual stories, because I really want to write a book that's much longer, and expand characters, you know, because my
Like a
character and I,
novel?
yeah, I do. And like the girl in Island, she doesn't even have a name because it wasn't about all that for me. It was just about
Right.
the message. But I would love to expand on that and maybe even make that more of a maybe more of a series where we can go on and teach different lessons, and, you know, focus on self-esteem. So I have a lot of ideas. It's just you know, writing takes time, and, you know, and you want to make sure, and then the world is ever changing, and you have to stay relevant. And kids nowadays aren't like how we were. They are smart because they have
They
so much
are.
information. They got this internet, so you got to be about you know, this life. What are they interested in? But I'm one to want to tackle um like current events and current issues. The cute stuff is cute, but I just want to keep it real for the kids, you know, because they, you know, they're different.
They
They're different.
are.
Yeah.
They're
So
growing up fast, and the
I'm
world
working
isn't
out.
trying to slow them down.
No, not at all. They are different, and I laugh. I hear people say these pandemic babies are something different, and they they
I see
definitely
that.
are. Yeah, they're different, very smart.
But very resilient, because with the education system and all of that shutting down, and then going back to school online and trying to do all of that, oh my gosh, you have to be super resilient and
You
like
really do. You really
Because
do. It's a mess because I just, like my daughter's in the first grade, but kindergarten, they were online the whole year and they didn't have time to acclimate to a classroom setting. So to see them like learn how to work the computer better than I could is I'm like, what is going on here? I don't think I could do this.
exactly. Oh my gosh.
And just not even talk about the social aspect of it. But yeah, they're different.
Your daughter is in first grade now?
I know. Can you believe it? Yes. Yes. First grade. First grade. I cannot. I was like, did I just give birth?
Right. Oh
They
my
grew up fast.
gosh.
I'm telling you,
Hit,
yeah.
ooh, that hit
Yep.
me. Wow, that
Yep.
went too fast.
Yes.
Okay,
Too
so
fast.
where can our readers find your books? Where can our readers find your books?
Absolutely. You can find my book at my website, ilovemycurlsbook.com. If you order from my website, I can give you a personalized message and sign it. There's also some merch there, but you can also find it at Amazon. You can find it online at Target, Walmart, Barnes and Nobles, wherever books are sold, basically. That's where you can find
Awesome.
I Love Curls.
And
And your
so,
local library.
sadly, last question.
Sure.
What would you, is there anything that you would like to say to young readers and writers out there, readers who are who read your books and are looking for that encouragement, and writers who are also looking for that encouragement to keep going or just even just start their journey?
Okay. Yeah, I would say don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You have this creativity that you have within you, especially when you have a lot of people who you've possibly shared some
Mhm.
of your work with, and people say, "What, how great it is." Don't be afraid to put it out. It took me years to have the bravery to put a book out, and I'm going to tell you, when the first day that I released that book, I beat out Frozen, y'all. And you can never take away from me that I was Amazon's bestseller. It's always there, but I never saw that. I guess, you get so afraid. Are the people going to like it? Don't worry about it. Somebody's going to like it. And somebody needs to hear your message. Someone needs to be inspired by your creativity. Someone needs you to be a voice. That's what we writers do. We're a voice for the voiceless. Someone needs you. And if you don't put your work out, if you don't share it, you don't, you're missing out. The world needs art.
Yes.
The world needs creativity. For those of us who are creatives, and like I consider myself a weirdo because I'm very different and eccentric in a lot of ways. It gives me that avenue to share with the world, you know how I think, and I can absorb when I get feedback from my books what I need to do next. And I'm telling you, the journey is wonderful. The beauty of the journey is when you're afraid, because when you do actually do it, you feel so silly, then you feel so rewarded when people really appreciate um the things that you put out, and it changes their life or it touches them in some way or the other. Like there's no feeling like that. Like it literally brings me to tears, and I still get shocked when people say like nice things about my book. So it inspires me, to kind of keep going and to find different ways to just express myself and put my art there. So don't be afraid. We have to be courageous, and it's a calling, it's a purpose. You'll realize that, because I've done things and embarking on doing things that I never would have envisioned myself doing, and it's a journey, I'm telling you. So submit. For those of you who believe in a higher power, I believe that everything happens for a purpose. Everything is ordained. Don't fight it. Don't fight it, because it's going to open so many doors for you. So don't be afraid. Go on and get that book written, and if you're inspired, take something for people's art and turn it into your own, and inspire in your own way. That would be my words of wisdom.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That inspires me. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
So we have sadly come to the end, and we are so grateful that Miss Anderson decided to come and share her passion with us. Thank you so much for joining us. And I cannot wait until you bring on out those other projects, because I will be knocking on your door again for another interview. And because this is just amazing. Again, we have 2 books signed, sealed, and delivered from Miss Janae Anderson, and we're going to give these away to some amazing kids. But we just want to say thank you, and we will see you guys on another episode of Read Aloud, Miss Erica. Dun, 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 dun. See you guys later next time.
Bye. Bye, friends.